Hello, class. This is Dr. Miller. Welcome to week 7. This is your last full week of the course. As you know, we will have 7.5, which starts on Friday, but that's only 3 days. So this is your last full week. I want all of you to finish strong. Get all of your work in. I'm going to start grading the week 6 work either today or tomorrow. If you have any work at all missing from weeks 1 through 6, please submit it as soon as possible. That way we can update your score and see where you stand. I want you to meet both your educational goals and your career goals. So let's get that work in. If you have any questions, let me know. Now, week 7. Here are your week 7 assignments. First, you've got your Connect work, right? So we can open the Connect folder. And again, 2 things to complete for Connect. First is the reading assignment, which also includes the concept questions on billing compliance. And then you have your Connect quiz, and you will have 2 opportunities to take that quiz. So if you're not happy with your first score, take it again. Let's look at the rest of your assignments. After you've completed the reading, you can go ahead and jump into the discussion. We want to be in the discussion by Wednesday, again, to allow you enough time to have at least 3 days of participation while responding to at least 3 of your classmates. So, what are you writing about this week in the discussion? You're writing about fraud and abuse. And in the reading, you've learned how fraud involves intentional deception and abuse involves the misuse of funds. Many regulations have been put in place to counteract billing fraud and abuse. You're going to select the regulation below that corresponds with the first letter of your last name. So if your last name starts with A through H, you will be writing about the Healthcare Fraud and Abuse Control Program. If your last name starts with I through R, the False Claims Act. And finally, if your last name starts with S through Z, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002. As you're writing, we want you to provide a general overview of the regulation, including why it was enacted, identify the agency that oversees the adherence and the party the regulation's protecting, and finally, discuss the potential consequences if the regulation is not upheld. Okay, so that is your discussion for this week. Next, you have your second of 2 coding scenario assignments. Let's take a look at that one. It is going to look very familiar because in week 4, you did a similar assignment where you looked at the scenarios, identified diagnoses, procedures, and on some of the questions, the rationale for selecting the diagnosis. It's the same type of assignment, just with different scenarios. And then, this is the biggie, your portfolio project final submission. So what you're going to want to be doing is going back through all of the weeks from week 2 all the way through last week, taking a look at your submissions. I will grade your portfolio project for week 6 first this week before I do any other grading for the course. So my goal is to have your feedback for your week 6 explanation of benefits assignment graded by tomorrow, because what you're doing for week 7 is you're taking 2 through 6 and combining them into one solid document. One single file is what you should be submitting, and incorporating any feedback that I gave you on weeks 2 through 6. So if you did not receive 100% on one of your assignments, you're going to want to go back and see, why didn't you receive 100%? Make those edits and then incorporate those into your final document. right? So here's the instructions for this week. This week is the final submission of your portfolio project. Incorporate instructor feedback, make any additional corrections, and submit to your e-portfolio. When you upload to your e-portfolio, you want to, you're going to say that the outcome is understanding the basic insurance plans, coding and billing practices, and office financial operations. Okay. The grading rubric is located, we're going to come right down here to your portfolio project grading rubric. 15 points for the glossary on terminology and abbreviations. 10 points for the calculating insurance reimbursement. 15 points available for the revenue cycle infographic. 15 points for denial management. 15 points for the explanation of benefits. There's 10 points available for incorporating in any instructor feedback that I gave you. So you could lose points on top of not having the meeting the requirements for a certain section. Because if I gave you feedback before and said to fix it and you don't, you can lose some additional points under this instructor feedback category. Then you have grammar, spelling, and punctuation. And then finally, your APA formatting. You want to make sure that you're moving all of your references into the final page of your portfolio project. So you'll combine them all into a reference page at the end. And go ahead and get that submitted to your ePortfolio in one single document. Now, looking ahead to week 7.5, once you've completed that work, you may want to start early on your week 7.5 reflection document, because that's a PowerPoint presentation with voiceover recording. So be thinking about that, possibly starting that early. So if you have any questions or if you have any technical issues, most often technical issues in this kind of assignment I see is in the voiceover. So make sure that you're checking that out early, so that you're not caught on Monday when that 7.5 is due and going, oh, I'm having an issue and I can't make my voiceover narration and I'm going to lose all of that credit for that piece of the assignment. So it's wise to look ahead for that particular part. And then you will submit that portfolio project, that final portfolio where you combined weeks 2 through 6, made your edits. This is the link that you use to submit, right? If you have any questions or concerns this week, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm going to keep an eye out for any late work. I will grade your portfolio project assignment first for the course, so you have that feedback. And you can get your final portfolio submitted early in the week. All right. Have a great week, and I will see you in the discussion.